We are nearly in the end game now, as we are here for the penultimate round of Season 2. 23 rounds deep. This one is Qatar, a sprint weekend, and last time out, we lost fan bonuses at the previous race in Las Vegas. Link in the top right. If you want to see how that happened and why that happened, then go check it out. The sentiment, though, actually is not completely negative. Now, I will spoil it, so go watch the previous episode. We went to Vegas, of course, racing as Nico Hülkenberg. We are trying to chase that P7 in the Drivers' Championship, and we started from the back of the grid. We started last. Actually, it went pretty well. We had a decent finish in P4. Now, we have our owner training point to spend, and you can see we do have a 41% balance towards personnel, so we're going to spend this one on corporate to try and improve our income. And out of the three that we have available, the one on the right is going to be the best one, which is going to be brand strategist. Earn 5k more per day whilst your corporate workforce is working at 90% capacity or above, which is most of the time. So we're going to get that. However, we can't actually use it or do the training for it because we don't have enough days until the next race to get it done. So we're going to have to put it on the back burner for the next episode and take care of it then. In the meantime, all we're going to add is a fan outreach to improve fan rating, and that is going to conclude our activities and owner training for now. Now, in terms of upgrades, I want to quickly show you how we have completed Aero. We have one upgrade left to research on the chassis, and then we've done everything we can on power unit, barring two, which are unknown upgrades that we have to unlock. We've also got, I think, 2 left on durability. So, in the meantime, we have received the redevelopments after the double failure to the front nose cone on Aero. Thus, we have now officially maxed out aerodynamics. With that out of the way, we're going to freshen up some components for Colapinto, and he'll be starting the race from the back of the grid. It had to be done. There's too many old components on his car. The ICE is old, the gearbox is old, also the MGUH needs to be freshened up as well. The energy store, it's all looking a bit knackered, and we're going to hopefully just freshen those up for this episode with a sprint race and the finale in Abu Dhabi. Of course, Colapinto is chasing the 100 point mark, whereas Hülkenberg is fighting for that P7 in the Drivers' Championship. Now, we've received the hiring management restructure on the personnel facility, and we're going to add personnel deployment strategists to basically reduce the time it takes to build facility improvements by 10% in the personnel department. Now, we skip ahead all the way until the next race weekend.
Hey Chief, just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
Now, conveniently timed, we are going to receive the regulations analysis team for the engineering facility, which is basically going to make adapting parts cheaper. And because that has arrived, we're going to go ahead and get level 2 to improve from 10 to 20%. So we still have quite a few upgrades to protect. Now, the one thing I'm going to do, reluctantly, is purchase the master cylinder for the brake performance. That will max out brake performance, but I think it will make lockups quite likely. So we'll see how we tackle that. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and basically protect the most expensive upgrades remaining on chassis and powertrain. So we're going to do heave dampers, improved energy store cells, and then on the powertrain, we're going to go all the way to the end, and we're going to do the rotor speed and also, I believe, the ERS cooling. So yeah, slowly but surely we're getting these done, and I actually think we may well be able to protect everything, and that should be able to get done. However, there is one factor, and I've mentioned it before: the cost cap. Now, we've burnt through from nearly $44 million this season to as low as $14 million. Now, it's not just that. The cost cap is right there. We are on the brink of hitting it. Now, I'm not sure if we can go beyond or if we're going to get penalized for it, but for comparison's sake, Season 1, look at this. We spent in the entire season just over $50 million, whereas this season we're over 130 already, so more than double, which is, yeah, simply insane. So we'll see. We've still got some upgrades to protect, and obviously we've got new drivers to sign, so we'll see what happens. This is a bit of an unknown, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, the forecast is dry, and this is what we're here for. Hülkenberg, P9 currently is 1 point behind Kimi Antonelli. The gap to Piastri, in an ideal world, is who I want to finish ahead of, is 20 points. We have today's episode, a sprint, plus the race at Qatar, plus Abu Dhabi in the next round. So, on paper, it's roughly 58 points that we can get if we were to win all 3 of the remaining races. Now, we had a fuel system issue at the start of practice whilst we were doing our setup. It's going to set us back a little bit as there is only 1 practice session on sprint weekend, but luckily we are still going to be able to fit everything in and squeeze it in terms of the program. So you'll see here we are basically going to breeze through the tyre management. I took it pretty easy, trying not to kill the tyres too much, which went well. We get a purple score. We then also did the ERS management on the same tyres because we only have 2 soft tyres available for the entirety of practice, and we were also able to get this one done, and that was also a purple score. And then we done our race runs, interestingly on the soft tyre, because again that's all we had, but it didn't actually overheat. It actually held its own quite well, which I was a bit surprised by because Qatar batters the tyres usually. Making our way through the last corner, we're also going to get a purple score on this one, also thus completing basically a perfect practice in terms of R&D points, even though I'm not too sure what we're going to spend them on because right now I believe there's nothing available for us to upgrade or research. Either way, you can see here we did well, got all the data in, and in terms of the race data, 1.17% tyre wear, which is slightly above average. Fuel burn is 47 kg, 1.62 per lap. So we'll write that down and basically tie that into our sprint and race runs. But yeah, Lando finishes top. Colapinto in the top 10, but you can see the lap time flash because he has a grid drop. And yeah, both cars in the top 9. Good to see. Similar pace as well, sharing that improved performance, of course, from the front nose cone upgrade from the start of the video. And yeah, job done. All the dev boosts pretty much locked up, and it's, yeah, a really good start to the weekend. But we're now going to jump into qualifying, in this case, the sprint shootout, and see what our true pace is.
Today is all about the rhythm, all about the flow, because it's qualifying in Qatar. We're under the floodlights for a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, you're very welcome.
Right, here we go then. You guys know the drill. We run the mediums in sprint shootout run number 1. We only have 1 set of softs available for this one, so we can basically burn and throw away a set of mediums, and we unfortunately, yet again, it's that old tale from the entire season. We always seem to encounter a V-carb, whether it's a lapped car or an out lap, they always get in our way under blue flag conditions. Anyway, we tried again, and on our second attempt we actually went purple in the first sector, which is actually a bit of a surprise considering the tyre compound. We pushed on, middle is green, of course we have no references, so it's automatically going to be a personal best. Piastri 1:16.994 as the new reference time. That's exactly what we don't want, our nearest rival being quickest. Over the line we go. It's a 1:17.2, purple sector 3, and genuinely P2 on mediums is actually insane. Really good. Verstappen then goes top with a 0.8, but still we are right in the mix. Also Lando went a bit quicker as well, but we are yet to run the soft tyres, and I believe we could find some time here. Colapinto, by the way, up in P8, so the upgrades and the fresh power unit are cooking for him. Anyway, 40 seconds on the clock. Let's get to work and let's get into this final run in the sprint shootout and see what our true pace is. Well, 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 pole position for the shootout. What a brilliant lap that was. Absolutely phenomenal. We beat Verstappen by 36 milliseconds. We outqualified Piastri and, of course, Antonelli down in P9. Colapinto, credit to him, P8 in the sprint shootout. I believe the grid drop is going to apply for the main race, so he'll be starting the sprint in the top 8, and that is a points finish. So hopefully he can convert it, but we are right there, guys. The upgrades are working really well, and we're right in with the big boys. Either way, with Piastri P4, we're going to find out. If this pace is legit, we could have a really strong weekend here and hopefully outscore and convert this into some massive, massive points.
So it is all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Nico Hülkenberg lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Piastri, Charles Leclerc and Tsunoda, Hamilton, Colapinto, Antonelli and George Russell, Albon, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Behrman, Crawford, Gasly, Liam Lawson, Paul Aaron, Pepe Marti, Bortoletto, Doohan and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Right, today we have a massive opportunity to try and hopefully get some big points over Oscar Piastri and Kimi Antonelli. Now, the McLarens seem quick, but we're on pole. We're starting P1 for the sprint, and I'm going to plan accordingly. So, for this one, I'm actually going to burn one of my hard tyre sets. I feel like the longevity of the hard tyre is what I need for this one and will serve me best, especially at the end of the sprint. The mediums, I fear, will overheat. I think they're a good tyre for duration in terms of wear, but the overheating is the issue I'm concerned about, and the hards have been our go-to bulletproof tyre all season long. I've applied the correct fuel, so we should be good to go. Of course, no rain forecast, so we're going to get straight into it. Hopefully, we can manage on the hards the first couple of laps and fight for this sprint win. I still think Max will be quick, but we'll give it our best shot, and we're going to genuinely try to win this. Right, even from the lead, I'm not able to really get my tyres warm enough, but interestingly, we have different compounds. We have mediums and softs from the AI. Piastri is on softs, so I'm hoping his tyres will die out by the end of the race. At the minute, I'm just trying to get these rears up to temp. They are the tyre that go off quickest and overheat, so we've got some temp. The question is, will it be enough? Right, let's get into it and let's see how this goes. Right, here we go. Sprint time at Qatar, lights on. Good start. We're going to get over to the left to try and have a smooth part of the racetrack. Avoid the bumps. And we retain the lead, which is a bit of a surprise. We've got, of course, the soft runners, the fast starters. RS dropping down, Verstappen under pressure from Leclerc. And we've got an early gap here. So that's good. Obviously, I expect them to be on the back of us straight away. But at least we're not under pressure from the top, from the get-go. So we can just start setting our pace and managing our race. So let's get to work. Let's try and get this tyre temp. If we can break the RS, that would be lovely. So I'm not going to take it easy. That'll be it in terms of the non-ERS on this lap. We'll keep on pushing now. And just going to try and see if I can open this up and also force them to battle. If they start to scrap, it might just open up for us. The gap did briefly go over a second there to Verstappen. And it's going to go over a second here because I'm leaning on the battery. So this is actually better than I anticipated. We get an early warning as I was looking at the delta there, so I shouldn't really do that. But we're already flat through the fast lefts and rights, and we've already broken DRS. That's been an excellent first lap, better than I ever imagined. And this tyre should only get better and should only get quicker.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available.
Verstappen claims the purple lap because we, of course, picked up a warning. Leclerc goes through, or is at least trying to go through. They're going to be battling. And there we go. This is going to give us the gap and the opening already. Let's keep pushing. We'll keep leaning on the battery to try and open up this gap as much as possible. But this could be huge for us. The gap has come down a little bit. I've been trying to charge. We used most of our battery. So Verstappen will go quicker on that one. Just a little bit. Similar pace though. Although now he's going to be battling with Leclerc again. So this is what I mean. Whenever they make progress, they're going to get slowed down by battling. Leclerc has got through though cleanly this time. So let's see. I'm so good through these fast, flat out rights and lefts that the AI can't get within my DRS. So we've got this gap marked, covered. And again, we're only going to get stronger each lap. Verstappen's going to go back through on Leclerc, back for P2. We go purple briefly. But this is fine. This is absolutely fine. Another personal best. Verstappen though, even quicker of course with DRS.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Important to note that Piastri overtook Leclerc on the previous lap, so that's not ideal for us. Hopefully Leclerc and Norris get back through on Oscar. That would be good for us. Okay, Piastri is now cooking. He's going to pressure Verstappen here. I mean, this really isn't ideal. This is the worst case scenario possible. Hopefully those softs start to fade. That's what I want. And that will cause those four behind to battle a bit. We're starting to pull away now. My insurance policy, the hard tire is cooking. We're going to actually do a personal best onto lap 8. I'm just bulletproof. My lap times, every single lap is right there. And we're now actually opening a gap. So this is perfect. Just need to hope that Piastri gets overtaken now and starts to drop. That's what I need to happen in this one to be perfect. Not ideal. Piastri up to P2 on the last lap. Really not ideal. Right, here we go then. Driving the point home on the last lap that I had pace. Trying to set a PB on the last lap. Really good race, but the only bad thing is that Piastri got that second, which really isn't ideal. After all this work, we're only going to gain like a couple of points. Really frustrating, but job done.
Yes, come on, we're on the podium. Good job this weekend. That's a great drive. Thank you.
Nice work, gents. Nice work.
Right, there we go then. Job done in the sprint. Unfortunately, no points for Colapinto. He finishes P10 and doesn't make it into the top 8, which is a shame. But to be fair, still an improved performance from him and doing really well. We pick up the win, and to drive the point home, we got the fastest lap on the last lap as well, showing that we had the pace. And yeah, it's actually legit. We could fight for the win here in the main event as well and get maximum points. In the end, we only gain a point on Piastri, so it doesn't make any difference at all in the Drivers' Championship, basically. Antonelli P8 does mean that we do move ahead. Finally, we're up to P8, and yeah, the target is Piastri. We have to win this race to give ourselves any chance of beating him in Abu Dhabi. So hopefully we can make it happen. I'm not relying on a DNF. That literally happened in Mexico. Was it Mexico? It might have been even after Mexico. Either way, that's not going to happen. We have to do it on merit. And yeah, I was hoping that would have gone a bit better. Piastri was P5 at one point, but it is what it is. We have to keep fighting. So let's get to it. Let's start for qualifying and let's continue.
Today is all about the rhythm, all about the flow, because it's qualifying in Qatar. We're under the floodlights for a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, you're very welcome.
Now, here we go. It's time for the normal qualifying. In other words, 2 fresh soft tyres is what we have available, and we're going to burn through both in this session. We begin with our banker, and we're purple in both first sectors, which is huge. Of course, we've got the pole in the sprint, so our pace is legit here, and we are flying, and we're going to continue that form. Over the line we go, DRS, and it's a 1:17.0, and we go straight to the top. It's not quicker than our sprint pole, but to be fair, it's a good banker. Now, same as always, we have got plenty of time, so we're going to apply our typical Q1 run plan. So we're going to go for a second time lap, a second push lap on this same run, on these same tyres. So I took a quick cool down lap after doing that 17.0, and we're going to go again and just see if there's more time as Piastri goes top. So he's cooking again, looking very quick around this track. Sector 1 though, it's a little bit quicker, and we go purple once more. 10th up on Piastri and a little bit up on ourselves. Now, Sector 2, looking to try and make a bit more of, a difference, a bit more headway on our lap time. And we are finding a little bit here and there. We're talking little micro sectors throughout the lap. Through this left-hander, we do find a little bit more time, and we're going to be just about a 10th up at the second sector split. Now, I'm going to deploy my battery a little bit differently on this one, keeping the overtake on until now, which is going to give us a bit more momentum. And you can see I'm just kind of dabbing on the battery there, just trying to keep the speed high and up all times basically. And now with one corner to go, we are 2/10ths up. A little bit wide there, didn't quite get the apex, but we are going to get a decent exit. It's going to be roughly a 2/10th improvement, and we're going to move to the top. 1:16.9, so we go quickest again. Still not quite as quick as the sprint time, but we're right there. And Colapinto, even with the grid drop, is cooking again. He's P7, so the car is quick. I'm very encouraged, and I can't wait for this car to be in the hands of Carlos Sainz next season and Pierre Gasly. Anyway, final qualifying lap, final qualifying run. Let's get to work. Can we get 2 poles in a row at the same track? Right to find out. Let's go.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Nice work, gents. Nice work.
Wow, what a lap, what a performance, what a statement. 1:16.6, our best lap of the weekend, and we drop the hammer on everyone here in Qatar. Piastri, P3, Antonelli, P10. So we have a shot at firmly leaving Antonelli in the dust in the Drivers' Championship this weekend with a race to go. And you never know. We could really do some damage to Piastri, especially if, Verstappen, Leclerc try and, run their normal race form back and get ahead. That would be good. However, it does seem like McLaren are quick, so this could go either way. Anyway, we've done it, but now it's the big one. Can we convert this into a win in the main event? Here we go.
Welcome back to Qatar. Losail International Circuit is our venue, famous for races on 2 wheels through the years. Its F1 bow saw a Hamilton win. Who takes the flag today? So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Nico Hülkenberg lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Verstappen, George Russell and Hamilton, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Antonelli and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Gasly, Ollie Behrman and Crawford, Doohan, Bortoletto, Paul Aaron, Pepe Marti, Hadjar, Albon, Lawson and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Right, here we go. Time for the main event. We're on pole again, P1, even more convincing than the sprint shootout. So, the objective is to win. Simple as that. I really want to get this result. It seems like the McLarens are very quick. Now, there is one thing to note. In this one, we have to stop. In this one, we have to run the mediums, and that is going to change our approach a little bit. So, for this one, I'm hoping for a carbon copy of the sprint. If I can break DRS on lap 1, that would be the ideal scenario here. Now, for this one, we are starting on the medium tyres. We're going to switch to hards and make a one-stop work. So, yeah, we'll take some pain in the first stint. I think I should be a bit quicker in the first few laps. And then it's going to be about managing tyre temperature. So we'll see how that goes. For the fuel, we've got everything ready to go based off the race simulations. So yeah, I'm feeling confident. The sprint gave me a lot of confidence. So I'm just hoping we can convert this into a win. So we're going to jump in and look to hopefully secure maximum points. And fingers crossed, Piastri doesn't finish second. So same again, we're going to try and line up. We've got a little bit cold tyres, but interestingly, everyone is opting for softs. So we do have a bit of a compound, let's say, disadvantage, but we should be able to make it work. I think this tyre will give us a bit better performance. So again, we're just looking to get a good start. That's all we need to do. So let's get to it. Here we go then. Part 2 of the weekend. Main event time, main race. Lights on. And it's another excellent start. Piastri gets the jump on Norris, not ideal, but we hold the lead, and that is what matters. A little bit wider turn 1 as Verstappen's battling with Norris. What we don't want is Piastri to get away. I mean, this right now has been the worst case scenario. On a weekend where I've happened to, be really quick and fight for a win, our main rival has been right there the whole way through. So we'll see how things pan out. For now, we're going to try and push on this opening lap and see if we can try and open up a gap here. We've got a full charge, so we're now going to start to deploy and drop all of it and see if we can just push this gap over a second. First time Piastri will get a DRS will be onto the start of lap 3, end of lap 2. So we've got 2 laps to break the gap here. Of course, single DRS zone, which is rare. Getting a little warning there as we run a bit wide. Exact same situation as the sprint where we got a warning on the first lap. But let's keep this moving, let's keep pushing and trying to up the pace. Of course, the car's a bit heavier on fuel, double the fuel, or even more than that compared to the sprint, so we have to factor that in. But we are starting to open a gap, so let's keep it going. The AI are at their weakest on race starts. I find the first couple of laps anyway.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Interestingly, this time the fastest lap does count, unlike in the sprint. But there's the gap at a second. Let's try and just keep pushing it up a little bit throughout this lap. So head down, crucial lap. There we go, the gap just slowly ticking over a second through these fast corners. So what we want is now for a battle to occur and we get a bit more of a gap and some respite. So let's see. 120 flat, good lap. Let's see if Norris gets in the mix versus his teammate. He does. This is perfect. Right, McLarens are switching, battling. I want to see if some others can get in the mix and try and demote Piastri some more. But we've got a gap now. Every lap that goes by, we should get better and stronger. So let's keep at it. I don't like the look of this. Norris is getting dropped by Piastri. I am not familiar with this version of Oscar. He's so quick. We'll see if they stay within DRS range or not. It's going to be really close. We did start to pull away there for the first time on that lap, so I think the softs are starting to fade. So we just have to focus on our own race. Hopefully things work out in the end, but at the moment it does seem like Norris just managed to hold on, I think, on that lap, but only just. Norris back through on Piastri for the time being. We welcome that. The gap is starting to grow. We need to try and grow it some more because they might box before us and undercut us. So we need to try and build a bit of a safety net before the pit phase. I will note one thing. The critical moment in this race is going to be regarding the McLarens and who they pit first and who they pit second. That will decide their race. That would be critical. I think Verstappen's been dropped out of DRS range, so the McLarens have broken a gap. Hamilton also is way behind Verstappen, so the McLarens are looking to lock up a double podium, but they're battling, which might drop them back into the field. But as I said before, the order in which they pit their cars will be critical. Ooh, that was close. Was pushing through there, using battery in between each corner to try and keep my speed up. We're trying to open up a gap, and we are starting to push it up now quite a bit.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Tyres look good, not overheating. Really good performance so far. And the mediums have been actually a really good race tyre. I just need the McLarens to switch or battle one last time before they pit to lose a bit more time. Right, let's see who is going to box this lap. I believe this is the one where those on softs are going to start. There's our tyre wear indicator, so we're over 60%, I'm guessing, on the left rear.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
Right, they bring Piastri in first, so they're not messing around. They're avoiding and making sure they don't get undercut by Verstappen or anyone further back. And they want to keep Piastri in that second place. So we're now racing Oscar. This is our box lap. We'll see if I go one more. I'm happy to go one more and extend. Still feel like I've got some pace and we can probably push a bit on this end lap. Want to make sure the next stint we've got really good tyres. It's going to be very similar to the sprint race, but this is the one.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
All the remaining drivers will be in as well. So good in lap. We need this, come on.
Okay, remember to pit this lap.
Yep, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Leave me to it. Leave me be. Hamilton's actually stayed up one more. He'll be struggling on those softs like crazy. I mean, if I'm near puncture territory, who knows where he is? But there you go, 70% left front. In we go. No big risk, nice and easy on the pit entry. We should still rejoin in P1. This is one of the slowest and longest pit lanes of the entire calendar, so we're going to have to be patient. Onto the hard tyres we go. Good first stint. Medium was actually excellent as a race tyre. Really lasted well. 2.4, no slow stop, no delay. Right on the money. Piastri's entering the last corner now, so we should be safe and sound, home and dry. Let's rejoin.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
And there we go. To my surprise, I thought that AR would go soft medium. They've all gone soft hard, interestingly, so that's going to be a massive point in our favour, but it does look like Piastri's going to finish P2, unless someone like Norris or Verstappen have a flyer a second stint, which seems like Verstappen's trying to get busy with it now, but maybe Hamilton on those mediums could be one to look out for. But at the minute, our worst case scenario is happening, and Piastri's on for a second place finish. Second warning. That wasn't ideal, so we'll have to keep it clean for the rest of the race now. We still have a 3-second buffer, so we're safe, but I'd rather not get one if I can avoid it. Literally the worst case scenario is happening right now. There's a massive battle for third. They're all just bunched up in that train, and they're bleeding time to Piastri. I mean bleeding time. They're battling, it's super inefficient, and yeah, this is really making our worst scenario come true. So I think Piastri's going to get second, which is, yeah, something we're going to have to accept, unfortunately. But let's just try and win this race and bring this one home. Pace is excellent, car feels great. Pace is legit around this one. Leclerc and Norris are battling, and that might just set Verstappen free. If that's the case, maybe there's a race on here. We'll see what the pace is now in clean air for Max, and also Leclerc's got through, so let's see what they do. We're just doing our thing. Still setting the pace, setting the tone out front. Leclerc's moved up and is getting away from Verstappen, and actually, to be fair, has dropped him. He's out of the DRS range, so we'll see if Leclerc can catch Piastri. That might be our only hope. Oh, Behrman's out. Still time for a safety car. That would change things.
Yellow flag.
Looks like we're not going to get one though, and the race is going to continue as planned. There he is.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
He couldn't quite make it back to the pit lane. Either way, let's keep on going.
Green flag.
Oh, Hamilton. No, Leclerc. Leclerc's gone. I don't believe it.
And some information on Leclerc. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
And whatever the hell happened there, it's cost Hamilton like 3 seconds in the process. Wow. Yeah, it's not happening, is it? It's not happening. Leclerc was about to get DRS on Piastri. Oh well, that was our only hope. The Ferraris were cooking on mediums, and they genuinely would have both actually caught Piastri. But that's gone now, and Leclerc's taken Hamilton down with him as well in the process. So I think that's going to be GG's, unless Hamilton still has some pace and no damage. Arriving at our best mates, lap traffic, blue flag traffic. It's the Saubers and the V-Carbs. We've got a love-hate, mainly hate relationship with the V-Carbs, so let's see how they all respond to the blue flags. First one's going to be Paul Aaron. That's an easy one, thank you very much. We're also going to get some dirty air as we look to tackle Pepe Marti, which we also do well with. He gets out the way very nicely. Bortoletto, also thank you very much, fellas. Hadjar up the road. We'll get him as well. And there's the last blue flag, and I think we probably got DRS there. I was trying to catch it. I'm pushing hard for it. Oh my god, don't break in the corner, mate. Whew. Right. Hadjar's trying to get back in front, but we've got DRS, luckily. Job done. Hamilton is catching again, and he's dropping Verstappen. Our only hope is that Piastri has a bad time cutting through the lap cars. That's all we can hope for. And that's what's going to happen now. Also, by the way, Colapinto update. He's P11, battling for the points. So we'll see where he ends up. Oh, trying to get my fastest lap back. Even though there's no point for it. Not quite. 19.4, still the pace we've got is insane. Also, Hamilton is now 2 seconds behind with 2 laps to go. They're now cutting through some of that traffic. Unfortunately, Hamilton lost out coming through the traffic. More than Piastri, and the gap went up, not down. So, yeah, literally nothing went our way in terms of, hoping for Piastri to lose ground. I'm pushing here for that fastest lap, and I think we might just get it if I have a clean exit. But what a weekend. We dominate every session. Absolute perfection. Come on.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Good job, gents. Good job.
And Nico Hulkenberg has won it!
A great display of dominance today by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
And the top 3 venturing onto the podium to begin the celebrations. He's here! He's really here! Hulkenberg heading to the top step of the podium.
Well, there we go. Race results confirmed. We did everything we could. We actually did get the fastest lap on the last lap. We got it back from George Russell. Unfortunately, no points for Colapinto. He was P10 at one point. Something must have happened. I think to be fair, actually, Russell, who was behind, finished P9. So actually, he got back through and re-overtook because Colapinto did get ahead of Gasly, who was in P10. So yeah, that would explain it. Russell just carving through on a 2-stop, so maybe late issues for George, possible puncture. Either way, not ideal considering Ocon got P8. That's not someone you want to let escape into the points. But yeah, great performance. Unfortunately, the DNF to Leclerc was the last opportunity we had to see Piastri drop, and it didn't happen. So yeah, if we go to the weekend cumulative totals, you can see it's not great. Piastri second in both sessions. We only outscore him by 8 points after all of that. 2 poles, 2 fastest laps, 2 race wins. All of that just for an 8-point gap. It's, yeah, insane. Hamilton on the podium, 3rd highest scorer this weekend. That could it be his last podium in Formula 1? We don't know. He's retiring, of course. 1 race to go in Abu Dhabi. We'll see how he gets on. But yeah, no points for Colapinto, of course, but not bad considering his weekend. Yeah, here is the final standings then. So, Verstappen, of course, as we know, is already champion. Leclerc, that DNF, is vulnerable to... Actually, no, he's not vulnerable anymore. Russell can't get second now because of that issue for him today. So Leclerc actually finishes second today with that. Even with the DNF, it makes no difference to him. But for Hulkenberg, let's talk about it. The gap to Piastri is 12 points heading into the finale. It's possible. It's doable. But we are not as strong at Abu Dhabi as we are going to be here. So if McLaren continue their form and they're fighting for wins, it's going to be really difficult to get 12 points back. So yeah, we needed it to happen here, and it didn't quite happen. Colapinto, based off that race, might just miss the 100-point mark because we are likely going to race as Hulkenberg in the finale again, which means unless Colapinto gets P6 by himself as an AI, that's going to be tricky to get 100 points. Either way, in the Constructors, again, we get maximum points for us as Hulkenberg this weekend. Of course, not maximum points as a team, but still McLaren move up, and they might have just relegated Mercedes to P4 with that performance this weekend from Piastri and Norris. Red Bull Constructors champions, of course. And yeah, there is a lot from the desert here in Qatar, and we go to Abu Dhabi for the final time in Season 2, guys. And then we move on to Season 3. So big stuff on the horizon. I can't wait. Anyway, in the meantime, guys, on screen, you're going to see the fallout from that one. Should be, I think, even though we won, mixed sentiment because of Colapinto's lack of points. So yeah, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, guys, I appreciate a like on the video for that performance. Subscribe for more daily F1 content. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you guys soon. As always, a massive shout out to the members. Take care, and let's goodbye from me. Ciao, ciao.